Today I'm bringing you my first guide video, and this is how to get new exotics fast, and it all hinges on Rahool's Novel Decryption. Now, how do you unlock the new exotics in this Novel Decryption? You need to rank up Rahool. You need to get a full reset in within the episode you're in, and then you will unlock that new feature. This is the only way to get new exotic armors that launch with the final shape or after, and it is probably the most consistent way to get any new exotic that launched from Beyond Light or later. The details of this. Only way to get those new exotics? Novel Decryption. Novel Decryption costs 1 exotic Engram and 1 exotic Cipher, and you can do this once you complete 1 full rank reset. His reputation will reset with each episode, so if you have it right now, in about 4 weeks with episode Heresy, you're going to have to do this again. And we expect to have 3 new exotic armors, 1 for each class launching. So it's going to be very important if you want to play with those day 1 to start preparing for this now so you can reset them quickly, grab the new armors you want, and then go into episode Heresy with new and fun stuff. While you can get exotics launch from Beyond Light, Witch Queen, or Lightfall years from Vex Strike Force, which is a big Neomuna public event that happens at random times, it's not very reliable. It's not always very well populated these days. So this is really going to be your best way to get new exotics if you're a newer player or returning player. So I recommend you kind of focus on it. How do you rank up Rahool? You need to decrypt a lot of Engrams. So his rank reset is 6,000 reputation, which doesn't really mean anything to you, but each type of decryption is worth a different amount of points. So your normal decryption is either prime Engrams, that's those purple glowy ones. Those will give you 100 reputation. Exotic Engrams will give you 150 reputation. Just for some simple math, it would take you 40 exotic Engrams to fully reset him, just decrypting normal Engrams, which sounds crazy, but it's actually surprisingly possible if you've prepped correctly. If you go into his exotic focusing and go to the second tab, that is called Advanced Decryption. You can see it named here in the screenshot, and this costs 1 exotic Engram, 10 enhancement prisms, and 30,000 glimmer per decryption. But this gives you 250 reputation, which would take you about 24 of these decryptions to fully max out his rank. That's kind of a lot and would use a lot of resources as well. The next kind is called Precision Decryption, and this is the third tab over. And this takes 1 exotic Engram, 2 Ascendant Shards, and 60,000 glimmer, which is a pretty steep price, but it gives you 500 reputation, and you can actually max him out in just 12 of these, but we generally want to do some kind of combination. Last thing I want to show you is this is the Novel Decryption tab. This is the 4th tab over. Like I said, it costs 1 exotic Engram and 1 exotic Cipher. And it does actually give you 500 reputation per decryption, but you can only unlock it after that first reset. That's something to keep in mind because continuing to reset Rahool will give you a lot of resources, so you do get some benefit from continuing to use this. So what do you want to do? It really depends on your resources. One thing to note with all this is on top of resetting, if say you want to get the 3 new exotic armors, you're going to need 3 exotic Engrams and 3 exotic Ciphers because those new ones will cost that exotic Engram and the exotic Cipher. So make sure you budget that in as well. But we have a few different methods here. First one, I have so many exotic Engrams. This is personally what I'm going to do because I knew about this well in advance. I've written this guide before, and really what I'm going to do is I'm just going to decrypt 40 exotic Engrams. There's a lot of different ways to store these. It's a lot easier if you have multiple characters because you can store 10 per character in the Engram inventory, and you have 3 characters, so that's 30. And then you just need to put 10 more in like Postmasters, or you can just leave them in your season pass and collect them later. If you are the 1%ers of Destiny and you have a ton of Ascendant Shards and a ton of Glimmer, or you're just really impatient, or for some reason don't have a lot of exotic Engrams, then you do 12 precision focuses. That's the Ascendant Shards ones, and that's going to cost 12 Engrams, 24 Ascendant Shards, and 720,000 Glimmer. That is more than the cap of 500,000 Glimmer, so you're going to have to think of some way to replenish your Glimmer, like Phantasmal Fragments or Hero Waste pieces or something like that. So think about that. Generally don't recommend this. What do I recommend? Is generally what I call the balanced approach. So you're going to do a little bit of everything. So option 1 is 5 precision decryptions, 5 advanced, and 15 normal decryptions. You're going to use 25 exotic Engrams, 10 Ascendant Shards, 50 enhancement prisms, and 450,000 glimmer. So you're not going over the cap of anything. You are going to use half of the full inventory cap for enhancement prisms, which is a lot, but you can manage all this, and it's less than 30 exotic Engrams, so you can just fit it on your inventories of your characters. Not too bad. The other option is doing 5 precision decryptions, 3 advanced decryptions, and then 18 normal decryptions, and then like a prime Engram in there. This costs a little bit more exotic engrams at 26. It will still cost 10 Ascendant Shards, but you're only using 30 Enhancement Prisms. So maybe consider this if you just don't want to use up all your Enhancement Prisms or you don't have as much. And it uses a little bit less Glimmer too, which is nice, but you need to have a little bit more exotics in hand. Once again, 26 exotic engrams plus the 3 for focusing the new ones, you're still within the 30, which is very manageable. Anyone who knows me knows that I've already made a spreadsheet for this. All these tables come from it. I will link it in the description. When you click that link, click Use Template in the top right corner and make a copy. Scroll down to the custom table and then just enter in these highlighted fields how many you want to enter until you get a reputation number in the bottom right that is over 6,000. And then you know how much you need. So play around with it. You don't have to do any math yourself. Figure it out for you. Figure out what works for you. This is really kind of customizable. So if you like that, go for it. Or just use one of the prescribed paths I gave you. You might be asking yourself, what do I do right now? The new episode's still like 4 weeks out. And I have a few things here to think about. So 1, if you do not have 3 characters, consider starting your 2nd or 3rd character. You really don't need to do much. Do the tutorial, and then really all you're going to do is just farm some exotic engrams. You don't need to decrypt them. You don't need to do anything. You just want to have them available. You're really just storing exotic engrams on them, more or less. So consider that. What else do you need to do? First things first, you need a lot of exotic engrams. Now, you may not be trying to get to the full 40, but getting to 30 is still quite a lot. So one thing to do is do core playlist activities. So every 3 strikes, crucible matches, or gamut matches will give you 1 exotic engram, and you can get 3 of those per character per week for a maximum of 9 per week. If you're watching this video, you have 4 weeks. So that will give you the opportunity to get 36 before episode Heresy launches if you work your butt off. If you've hit that cap or you want to just grind it out, you can do Master Legend Lost Sectors, which also give you Enhancement Prisms. Legend Lost Sectors have about a 30% exotic engram drop chance, and Master Lost Sectors have about a 40% drop chance based on player testing. So not too bad, and if you find a really fast Lost Sector, you're doing these in like 2 to 5 minutes, so not too bad. Vendor rank resets will also give you 1 exotic per reset, which does not sound like a lot, but it does add up and you'll kind of collect those over time. One thing to mention is your season pass has a lot of exotics in it. An episode season pass has 21 exotic engrams in it. Don't claim any more of these exotics from whenever you watch this video till when the next episode comes out. Because when Heresy launches, you can claim the Revenant exotics out of the engram by using the official Destiny 2 app. So you can basically bank them in that season pass and then collect them after it launches, which is really effective. That's what I'm doing. That's why I can get to 40 exotic engrams so easily, because I already have 21 in that pass. Now, if you've already collected the ones so far, the Act 3 pass will have just come out when this video is out. And that Act 3 portion of the pass, the last 50 levels, has 5 exotic engrams. Try and leave them all. You can actually go ahead and collect any engrams from the Echo Season Pass. There are some ways to collect this during the next episode, Heresy, but it's a lot harder. You have to use like browser plugins and stuff. I don't really recommend it. And once again, you're claiming these for previous episodes via the official Destiny 2 app. How do you do this? Here's some screenshots. So you go into your Destiny 2 app, click on Season Pass. Up at the top, you see this says Episode Echoes right now. That's going to change to Revenant once we get into Heresy. You click on that and it'll show you everything you have unclaimed, and you just click it and claim it, and it will go to the character that you have selected up at the top. So pretty easy. If you don't have this app for some reason, it's pretty effective. I use it for bounties all the time, but I recommend you grab it just for this. So something to keep in mind. What else do you do right now? You're probably going to need to farm Ascendant Shards and Enhancement Prisms. So how do you get Ascendant Shards? Grandmaster Nightfalls, you can get 1 to 2 per platinum run. We probably won't have very farmable ones in these last few weeks, which is unfortunate, but that is something you can do. You can also convert 10 Enhancement Prisms to 1 Ascendant Shard, also at Rahool in his currency conversion inventory. Full Contest of Elders runs will give you Ascendant Shards sometimes with 3 times Warden's Favor. That's a pretty decent way if you're still doing seasonal content. Enhancement Prisms, you can farm those from doing normal Nightfalls. And you can also do Master Legend Lost Sectors. Usually get about 1 to 2 per run. And once again, these are pretty fast, so it adds up pretty quickly. Talking about Lost Sector farming just a little bit more, if you want to look at a schedule of the best Lost Sectors to farm, Shack News has probably the best list I've seen, and they actually update it, which is great. Your best Lost Sectors to farm in Revenant are Bay of Drowned Wishes, which can be a little bit annoying, but isn't too bad. considered an average lost sector. And then there's Chamber of Starlight, which is easy, the Quarry, which is easy, and Excavation Site 12, which is also easy. Those all come in that order in the rotation. So those will pop up from January 8th to 11th, January 19th to 22nd, and January 30th to February 2nd. So you have 3 opportunities to farm some pretty easy lost sectors. So check the schedule, look at that, plan a little bit ahead, and just grind out that day if you need to. Last thing you need to farm, exotic ciphers. So these are what you need to focus. If you want all 3 new exotic armors, you would actually only need 2, because when you reset Rahool, he'll actually give you 1, which is pretty convenient because you have to do that anyways. The other ways to get this is the Xenology quest. You have to do 21 core playlist activities in a week, though some activities count for more. Xer rank resets will also give you a exotic cipher, so spend all those strange coins as fast as you can. And then your first core playlist reset, I believe, for the episode will also give you an exotic cipher. So if you haven't done those, just try and knock those out. We should have some extra reputation weeks coming up here. Just a few last reminders for Heresy launch. Bookmark this video, come back to this on February 4th because that's when it's coming out. Make sure you equip a ghost stat focusing mod before you decrypt. If you're following this guide, you will be decrypting somewhere between 12 to 40 exotic engrams. Make sure the stats are coming out a little bit focused how you want. Have a list of exotics you want to focus if you're doing some advanced decryption. So go through your list, see which ones you need better stats on, and try and focus those. Because if you're doing this, you might as well get some extra benefit out of it. When Heresy launches, then you can claim the Revenant exotic engrams. If you are banking into your postmaster, make sure you clear it pretty quickly. That thing can fill up pretty fast, especially at the beginning of an episode, and there can be weird bugs if you don't have enough inventory space for stuff. They can block you on quest progress or make you lose important loot. So clear that postmaster as soon as you've decrypted those first few engrams. Once again, once Heresy launches, don't claim any of the exotics in the Heresy Season Pass. Save all of those. We have a full armor rework coming. Armor stats are changing. This is probably going to be in Codename Apollo. We're going to be doing a lot of new exotic focusing with the next expansion, so you want to save as many of those engrams as possible. If for some reason a video guide isn't for you or you want another reference, I will have a full guide up on Reddit. I will also be posting a guide on my new Discord server, which will be linked in the description. This server will have all of my guides, tools, references. You can definitely just join and just look at those when you need to. It's a one-stop shop for all those. I'm sure some of you have used a lot of these tools before, like the Prismatic Planner or the Exotic Class Item reference or the new Ability Factor reference that I reference in all my videos. So definitely check it out. And I also tend to preview what builds I'm talking about as I get excited. And if you have any builds you're working on and you want advice, I love answering questions on stuff. You've probably seen that. If you've ever left a comment, I always respond because I can't resist. Last thing, preparation makes this so much easier. This is a pretty convoluted way to get new exotics, and it's really not great for most players. But if you do a little bit of preparation and a little bit of advanced work, you can kind of do it passively as you're going. So this will also give you a few goals for these last few weeks as well. Hope you enjoy it. Hope this helps you. Definitely come back to this. I hope it's been helpful, and I hope it makes this system that's a little bit complicated and hard to work with a little bit more manageable. With that, that's all I've got. Hope you've enjoyed it. Have a great one.